My platinum story is tragic. I used to rob people for their shiny Pokemon on Pokemon trading chat rooms. I was a demonic kid. I was like 8, 9 years old whenever that shit came out, and I would literally go on there and be like, "Yo, trade me your mon, and I'll trade you back, and we'll get boosted EXP if you trade me that shit." And then they would always trade me that shit, and then I would disconnect, and they'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I stole your shit, my bad." And so I had like 60 shiny Pokemon in my game or something crazy. And they were like all stolen. Like they were all stolen. Bro, the worst shit ever that happened, and I said this before. This was for real. Again, I was like 8 or 9 years old. No, let me tell you how the story goes. I do not have the game still. I'll tell you why. But anyways, I remember there was one guy and he traded me his shiny Ho-Oh. And you know how DS has that voice chat on? Bro, when he realized I wasn't giving the Ho-Oh back, the dude started yelling in his mic. He was like, "Yo, where's my Ho-Oh?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I freaked out and I powered off my DS. And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh shit!" Bro, I was a bad guy. I was a bad kid. I was a super bad kid. But that memory is literally burned into my brain. He was like, "Yo!" He was like freaking out throughout the. I could hear him over the mic, and I was like, "I'm definitely going to hell for this." I was like, bruh. I was like, there's no way. But yeah, I was a fucking bandit. I used to go on there. I used to pretend I was other people, like a random dude. They would literally have like warnings, like, "Watch out for this dude. He'd be stealing people's mons." And I would pull up with a new name and shit like that. And I was out of fucking control, bro. Every day, pull up with a new name, new username color. The shit would show my IP address in the chat because this was 2000 whatever 6. They didn't give a fuck about that shit, or 2007 rather, and it would literally show my IP in the chat. But I would still be like, I don't give a fuck, like, because no one remembers your numbers. But eventually people would know. They'd be like, "Yo, I recognize that IP. He a fucking thief." But no, I was literally evil. So I had 60 shinies, right? Anyways, the story ends the way it should have ended. One summer, my cousins come over to hang out. I haven't seen this cousin in years. He like chill. He like regular. He my age. He stole my game. I know his dumb ass stole my game because he kept wanting to see my game and see all my shinies, and he was like, "Damn, you have such an epic shiny collection. You have such an epic shiny collection." And I was like, "Yeah, type shit. You know what I'm on. I got a beautiful, beautiful shiny collection." It was like I was showing him 60 pairs of off-white Jordan type quality shoes. Like he was marveling at my shit. He was like, "Yeah, your shit is so tough. Your shit is so tough, OG." I was like, yup. Then my cousins leave that night, and I look at my DS, and the game is not in my fucking DS. So I look for hours, and then I start crying. Straight up, I started crying. I remember I was crying a shit ton because I was like, all my hard work, all my favorite game, my $9.99 hour game, hard work, aka jugging on the fucking social engineering on the Pokemon chat room. I remember I was crying so much because I was 8. Was I 8 or 9? Probably 9. Yeah, but anyways, and I was so mad, and I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I know he fucking stole it." And so we were gonna go to my other cousin's house in like a week or something, and I knew my cousin was gonna be there, and I told my fam, I'm like, "When I see his ass, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him, and I'm gonna get that game back. That's for real." And I told them, I'm like, "This is gonna happen." And my mom slapped the shit out of me and said, "If you really think I'm gonna let you create family drama over some dumbass game, you got me fucked up." And I was like, "Ma, he stole my shit." She's like, "I don't care." And I was like, "Mom, he stole my shit." And she's like, "No, I don't care." And I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "I swear he stole my game though." And she's like, "You got me so fucked up if you think that this is how it's gonna go down." She's like, "You're not gonna bring it up. You're not gonna say shit." And I was like, "Mom, he stole my shit." And she was like, "Nope, I don't care." I guess I didn't have proof. I pressed him about it. You know when I pressed him about it? 3 years ago. I literally pressed him about it 3 years ago. We were at a family wedding, and I was like, "Yo, did you steal my shit?" And he was like, "Nah, bro, I never stole your shit." And I was like, "All right, gang. All right." But I know that motherfucker stole my shit. I know he stole my shit. All night he was fucking going, "Damn, your collection of shinies is so crazy. Shit is so crazy." Yeah. And the next day my shit is gone from the DS. Bro, I never even took that game out of the DS. I never even took that game out of the DS. Because it was the only game I ever cared about playing. But I pressed him about it. I pressed him. I was like, yo, you stole my shit, right? And he was like, no, I swear I never stole your shit. And I was like, all right, blood. All right, blood. I'm gonna see him again, by the way, in 2 months. We don't got beef though, cause he a good dude. He a good dude. Like, bottom line, he a good dude, and he always be supporting me. But he probably always be supporting me because he stole my shit. Because he stole my shit, he probably feel a debt in his heart. You know what? I just relived generational trauma remembering that. This is so sad. Somebody dropped some members. Oh my, bro, I just cannot believe that shit happened. But the moral of the story is I deserved it though, because that was in my mind. Even after he stole it, I couldn't be that mad, because I was like, I mean, fuck it, like, I did steal 60 different shiny Pokemon. Like, I'm a bad dude for this, straight up. But yeah, anyways, that was that. I guess stealing runs in the family. Chill. He like a third cousin. All right, he barely family. Chill. I never stole nothing in real life. Chill. But that Mons back in the day, I was a demon time. Actually, that's cap. I stole a book or two from Scholastic Book Fair back in the day as a kid. Yo, but I ain't no thief. Basically, the moral of the story is I was trying to accrue good karma again. And also, when I see him again in July, now that we talked about this, now that I've relived this pain, I'm gonna press him again about it. And I'm gonna be like, yo, bitch, admit it. You stole my shit. I'll update y'all with how that goes.